We now have this distinguished panel to just help us further dissect into these issues. Many thanks, gentlemen. Of course, I will be accused of not being gender sensitive, but for today, we are guilty as charged. But let's start off with you, Dr. Ayisi. Of course, Nairobi County has been at the forefront in terms of providing basic services for the people of the county, be it garbage collection, matters with street lighting, and that's why many people pay the rates. But the feeling down at the common man is that they're not getting value for their money.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I think from the Nairobi County government provides basic services to Nairobians all across board. We take care of garbage. In Nairobi, we generate over 2,000 tons, 2,000 tons of garbage every day.
But the thing is, people are paying for this, but it's not, they're not getting the value really in terms of consistency, cleanliness, supply of water, power.
I don't think you are right. We are giving services to Nairobians. Even if you go across Nairobi streets, even the estates, you find they're clean. Actually, we have cleaned the CBD, we have cleaned the estates, and all garbage that we generate in Nairobi ends up at the dump site at Dandora.
All right, let me allow Kevin to jump in before we come to Keitani. Perhaps, what's your experience in Nairobi?
One of the things that I always say is the parking fee is not commensurate to the value of which me as a consumer really desire. When probably I'm parking my car within the CBD, there's kind of an emergence of the parking boys who I'll kind of trust the parking boys so much in taking care of my car, other than probably the city council attendant who is within that particular street. So, I mean, it's something that I don't know what the council is actually probably planning to do in the next subsequent years. But from my side, the 300 shillings parking fee is actually not commensurate to the value in which me as a consumer really desire on.
Keitani, your thoughts?
For my part, I think regardless of the city, the county government of Nairobi not meeting our needs as much as we want, we should also give them credit because recently you've seen most of the time the lights are working in the evening, the CBD is most of the time clean. The only problem is outside the CBD,
It's another story.
Yeah, it's a total different place. As you enter the city, it's very clean. But the moment you leave the city,
all right,
you even wonder whether you are still in Nairobi or you found yourself in another place.
I can see Dr. is smiling.
Well, I'm just interested in hearing these answers. Well, I think these are Nairobians that give you their views.
Yeah.
And in Nairobi, as I had said earlier, we have offered services. Cleaning services are offered. And you see, also, garbage is our responsibility.
All right. And let's move to the next issue. Of course, the matter around food cost, fuel costs have been a major challenge for most people in Nairobi. And just across the country, we are seeing a litre of super petrol went up by about 4 shillings. It's now at about 103 shillings in Nairobi. And as a business person, Kevin, what do you feel about how the Jubilee government has managed issues around the economy that touch on your day-to-day life?
Touching on the fuel prices, I think the diesel fuel prices are high up to 89, which is the highest since 2014. And at this particular time, also, you're buying fuel of petrol worth 100 shillings per litre. Now, in terms of communications, let me say, for example, on a communications angle, one of the persons whom we'll target in terms of getting business out of the industry. So what this means is that the bulk of fuel which industries use is actually diesel. Yeah. So if the cost of diesel is actually up, what means these particular companies will be looking at covering up both their top line and their bottom line. For me as a communications person, I get to reach out to them in terms of advertising business, or rather maybe just doing up their media plans and all. They tend to tell me, hey, man, we're suffering right now in terms of business. Business is not doing well. So that cost of production is actually taken onto us, or rather they'll kind of find a way of covering that cost of production for them to watch up on their profits.
All right.
But then again, another angle is that when you talk about consumer goods, we are buying milk right now at prices of about 54 shillings. So I'll kind of ask myself, should I drink milk or should I eat bread? Because bread right now is at 50 bob and milk is at 54 shillings. So the levels of inflation is actually going up, which is not actually something that I expected from the government. Yeah.
You've mentioned the inflation, and of course this affects food. And where the county comes in is issuance of trade licenses for the traders in the CBD and also outside the CBD. Perhaps, Daktari, we've had the outcry by majority of the traders saying that the licenses need to be revised downwards. Do you agree with this? And what plans do you have on making Nairobi an easy place to do business?
I don't think so. The licenses we are paying are consuming with the services we are offering. And first, we have made our payment easier for Nairobians because now GGPay is e-payment. So you don't need to come from your place to come and pay licenses at the city hall. You access licenses from where you're doing your business. So we have made it very easy for Nairobians to access licenses and do their business without, and we have made it very, very easy. So we think we have made it very simple for Nairobians to engage in business.
Okay, because many times when you go to the market, Philip, be it Marikiti market, be it City market, they normally tell you the cost of any item, they factored in the operating costs, be it the license, be it power bill. And this has an effect on the cost of food at the end of the day. And of course, this has been worsened further by the drought. Perhaps in the line of agriculture, what are some of the trends we've seen in terms of food prices?
Well, the food prices are affected by so many things. One, as Kenya relies mostly on rain-fed agriculture. So part of last year, the long rains failed, and that's why we are complaining now that there's not enough food in the country. But also, as you've talked about the fuel prices, the government will always complain and say the international fuel prices have gone up. But when you check on those fuel prices, Kenya is one of the countries that has highest taxation regimes.
Correct.
So
30%.
This one still has a ripple effect because the farmers still have to transport whatever little they've harvested to the market, which will still be affected by the high cost of fuel.
Sure.
So that will also, the trader will also carry it forward to the consumer. So at the end of the day, it's the consumer who will always have to carry the burden of everything that goes wrong, either from the government or anything that nature will throw onto our side in terms of failed rains.
All right. Yeah. And gentlemen, I'd like us to give a short closing remarks because we'd have still another interesting panel coming up, and we'll be speaking to some analysts. Perhaps let's start off from Keitani. So what's the best way forward to make food prices cheaper and better for Kenyans?
Well, for now, I think the current trend will continue for a while. There's little that will come from the farms as we speak, because even the rains have not yet started coming. The cost of fuel is still expected to go up, so Kenyans need to start tightening their belts even more.
All right.
But the government has also failed Kenyans to some extent. When the Jubilee government was sworn in 2013, they promised Kenyans that the cost of a 2-kilogram bag of flour will not go beyond 90 shillings.
Yes.
Look at the cost at the moment.
And
it's
they
even
helped
cheaper to eat chapati than to eat ugali.
Imagine.
So what options do my friends in the slums have?
Kevin's?
You know, it's an interesting question you're asking because you're 7 months away, about 5 months away to the elections. And I mean, it all boils down to ideologies. Who are our leaders? What was their mandate? What were they mandated to do unto us? Or rather, when they get into office, they went into office and a particular blueprint which they believed is going to make life easier for us. The cost of living is going to be easier for us. But as it turns out now, the cost of living is actually up. Inflation rates are going up.
Okay.
So the key thing is,
or
rather, what I just want to put across is what is it within their plates that they can make our lives better within the next 5 months and all.
Many thanks.
Yeah.
Dr. you take the final word, and what is Nairobi County government doing differently to make life more affordable for Nairobians?
Thank you very much. We have put in place ways of making life easy in Nairobi. We have improved on infrastructure. We have improved on our roads. We have improved on the lighting system, as I said. This lighting system has made crime rate reduced, and we have put services close to the people. Mm-hmm. Our health services are now, our facilities are running 24 hours, they are stocked. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we are making services more affordable, more closer to Nairobians, and we are hoping with that we are going to make life easier for Nairobians, and Nairobi is going to be a city of choice to live in, work in, and invest in.
Many thanks. We'll be putting you to account on your word.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we did